Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Morning.
My name's Charles Hardy. I know from appearance that I look young enough to be Fiona's brother, but in actual fact I'm her father. We're going to make chocolates today. Don't be shy. We're going to try and use these tables here. So for those who are sat at the back, you know, when I finish talking, if you can all come up and stand around these tables, it's going to be a lot easier. What we're going to do is going to make some chocolate hedgehogs. Each person is going to make 6 hedgehogs. So the hardest part of the morning is deciding who you're going to make the hedgehogs with. It doesn't make any difference. You make yours, they make theirs, but you do need to be paired up so that each pair will make 1 mould and you'll all make 6 hedgehogs. When you get the mould, please do not put your finger on the inside of the mould. It causes considerable problems. There are times when I've made chocolates and people have gone home with 2 hedgehogs or 3 hedgehogs because despite what I've said, the first thing they're going to do is put their finger on the inside. So if you're holding the mould, hold it by the outside, but as far as possible, leave the mould on the table and handle it as little as possible. When we've been going about an hour, and you want to see what your hedgehogs look like, if you go like that, you're going to lose 2 things. You're going to lose all of your hedgehogs. You're going to lose a friend. The friend has the other 6 on the floor. Please leave the moulds that way up. And however tempting it is, do not feel that you can defy gravity by having a very quick look by doing that. They just fly out much quicker. As we're making the hedgehogs, please leave the moulds on the table as much as possible. We will keep the moulds in order and you will go home with your hedgehogs. Miss Hardy is very good at keeping the moulds in order. You do not need to spend all morning clutching your mould like this. If you do, they simply won't set off and you won't get any hedgehogs, so leave the moulds on the table. Now I do quite a lot of these makings, a lot of them back up in Cheshire. We have one very strict, very simple rule. Whilst you are making chocolates with me, there is to be absolutely no picking and eating of chocolate by anyone. It is extremely unhygienic to ever put your fingers near your mouth when you're preparing food. That applies whether it's at school, at home or with me. But in this particular instance, if I see anyone who thinks it's funny or clever to lick their fingers and put it near chocolate, I will ask them to leave immediately. It's as simple as that. So do you fully understand that? I'm sure there's plenty of hand washing facilities in the building. If you get chocolate on your fingers and you feel you've got to go and wash them, go and wash them. Do not start licking your fingers and don't start picking at bits of chocolate. Any chocolate that's left over, with these tablecloths, we'll just fold them up and chuck them. Anything that is on here, we just scrape up and chuck. We do not try and recover it. But please don't spoil the morning by feeling it's funny or clever to start picking at bits of chocolate. As a slight digression, some of you may know that before the smoking ban came in, it was not allowed to smoke in food factories. That actually had nothing to do with the cigarette itself. Ash is quite sterile. It was because you put your fingers next to your mouth and then next to the product. And that is why smoking was banned in food factories many years ago. So please don't put your fingers near your mouth and then near the food that we're making today. Now we're going to get started. As I say, if you could all decide who you're pairing up with, and please don't be so shy. If you can come forward to these tables here, it's going to make it a lot easier. So if you can all get up and come around these tables. No. If you stand vaguely around the table, it'll make sense in a minute. Right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put some backs onto the hedgehogs. Now I have 3 sizes of gloves, large, medium and small. I haven't got a particularly big hand, but that, believe it or not, is a large hand. So you'll probably find Miss Hardy is a medium. That gives you any indication. The first thing we're going to do is just put the glove on, dip it in the dark chocolate, and rub it over the back of the hedgehog. Now, hedgehogs only have bristles on their backs, so try and leave the face clear. Just put your finger behind the head and draw it back. And rub it well in. If you put a lot of chocolate in, they don't look as good. If you just put a little bit of chocolate in, your hedgehogs will have a remarkable resemblance to me. We get there in the end, I promise. It's first thing in the morning.
Ich würde sagen, ich frage nicht, aber ich würde sagen,
once you've finished doing yours, can you move back over to this side of the room?
ich habe bottom row.
With the noses pointing up. Okay? Take the glove off. When you've done, if you can leave the moulds where they are, and just, if you just come forward and I'll show you the next bit, and then you can go and do it. Right. The next bit causes problems for some groups. I have never understood why. I made chocolates recently last year with Mary Windsor. They were brilliant. They picked it up straight away. But just, watch what I do. It needn't be a problem, because all we do is we take a triangular piece of paper like this, and we make a funnel like that. Okay? And then we just take a little bit of dark chocolate, put it in the funnel, fold the top down, and we give the hedgehog 2 little eyes. And the hedgehog eyes are where your eyes are, they're right next to the nose. Okay? Okay, off you go.
It's going to be solid.